Good evening, everyone. This is Charles with the Exodus, the Logistics Learning Center, ELLC, America's #1 dispatcher and freight broker training. Today is Wednesday, the 10th of December. This year is coming to an end. This is our Wednesday edition in our second week of the month of trainings, live Zoom calls. We do it every second and fourth week of each month. Sundays, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Wednesdays at 6 p.m. now, and Saturdays at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. So tonight I'm gonna just do an hour. To be honest with you, I'm extremely tired. It's been a long day, but I will answer some questions, do a little Q&A, just so I can stay connected with everyone and make sure you guys are good. So, what questions do you have? Oh, and we have a special guest coming in, so I'll let her um, do some talking as well. And that is Monica from Seven Oaks. So, right on time. So, Seven Oaks Factory. Hello, good evening, Monica. Monica has tuned in. Where you at, Monica? There you go. Can you hear us, Monica?
Yes. Let me see. I'm trying to see if I can put my camera on.
Oh, no, it's fine. It's fine. I'm gonna keep it to an hour tonight. I won't be on that long. I'm extremely. It's been a busy day slash week for me, so I'm kind of dead tired. But I still come on to answer some questions. But you're a breath of fresh air, so you can come in and ask.
Well, I really wanted to join before the end of the year to see, where everybody was and what's going on and just give you an update on our side too, It's been busy for us too and changes happening and good things all the time, but
So, for those of you who are here for the first time or the first few times and has never met our resident factoring guru, the young lady that's speaking, her name is Monica Case. She is with Seven Oaks Capital Factoring. Monica, I'll let you introduce yourself to speak about factoring. And then you said there were some new things that are coming down the pipeline, or
well, it's just not really new thing. It's just the way we do things. It's we're not gonna change into AI or anything like that. But
yeah,
it's just innovation is always good. So now we have an app for our clients, so the carriers can just upload the rate confirmation and the bill of lading without having to email paperwork or generate invoices or anything like that.
gotcha.
Um,
And
so
before you start, Desiree, is your guest, is she coming in or?
I did send her. Hello, everybody. Um, I did send her the link. Let me text her and see if she's gonna come in.
'Cause I'm only gonna do it an hour tonight, but I just wanted to make sure that she come in if she had any questions to be answered. But in the meantime, we got Monica here from Seven Oaks Capital, who's our factory guru here.
yeah, try to come in unannounced, and sometimes I just jump in when I can.
That's that's
And
that's fine.
so Seven Oaks Capital, we're a factoring company, and factoring is the way that most carriers like to get paid because they receive their load payment the next morning after they deliver, instead of waiting 30, 45 days for the brokers to pay, or get paid in 2 days or next day, but at 5%, 4%. So for Seven Oaks, we charge 2% to our carriers. Um, and I've been working with Charles for, I don't know, since COVID thing, or 2021, or
Yep, yep.
it's been a while, and we have the same way of thinking as far as service. We love our carriers to be successful. That's not just to make money, but just build relationships. We like minded people that wants to be successful as a community, to support each other, to go through the ups and downs of this crazy industry together. Sometimes we're just busy, don't connect too much, but we know we're there for each other. So that has been a really rewarding way to be in this industry, navigating all the crazy stuff that has been going on through these years. So, and I suggest new carriers, new dispatchers to do that. Connect with people that will support you and mentor you and walk you through things that makes the time to give you the experience and information and resources and connections for you to be successful. Because if you're not successful as a dispatcher, we're not successful. Well, the carriers are not successful, we're not successful. So it's something that just triggers that connection, and support triggers results for everybody. And all of us is the main thing is to keep our carriers on the road, doing the work, and providing a good service for them. So,
Monica, let me ask you a question. It just came in my mind, just came in my head. Um,
sure.
in your estimation, your thoughts, how can a independent dispatcher leverage having a factory company or a resource factory company for their carriers? How can a dispatcher leverage that?
Well, partnering with a good factoring company for a dispatcher helps them in several different ways. Uh, One of them is the factoring companies. We have a lot of resources and information on the market, on the brokerage. So you can use the factoring company to check on brokers MC, check their credit history. We can give information about like how the broker is paying, and no, don't move that low for that broker because they don't pay, or they're double brokering or fraudulent. So partner with a factoring company in that way, and also with the tools that we have to be able to get that cash flow for the carrier real quick without being a support for the dispatcher and the carrier. And so a good factoring company is a quick phone call that somebody's gonna be on the other line and answer the call instead of making the dispatcher wait 30 minutes to try to talk to somebody. uh, Providing information, reports, all of that. It's one way the factoring company can support the dispatcher's work by providing
So,
services to the carriers.
so
And I'm not.
if I'm an independent dispatcher and I just acquired a carrier
Mhm.
and I'm trying to book a load with a broker for that carrier, I can reach out to you guys as the factory company representative for that carrier to say, hey, can you check the credit of this broker? Because I'm not sure about this broker.
Mhm.
I'm kind of on the fence of it, but I just want to see what you guys think. Is there any red flags, or should I go with this broker?
Yes. So yes, so we check the MC number, and we'll tell you what the trends are with our the payments that they've been sending to us, or tell you no, the red flag, that's double brokering. Don't take that load. So you have a tool to prevent you from getting the carrier into a bad situation. That's really information and history of payments is that what we provide. And as one of the main things also the dispatchers can benefit from working with a factoring company. If you bring the new carrier, the carrier is looking for a factoring company, you bring them to work with Seven Oaks. We charge our fee to the carrier, the 2%. From the 2% fee that we charge, we share 10% of those fees with you for the life of the deal. So as long as the carrier continues to factor with us, we share that 10% of our fees with you. Even if you don't dispatch for them, you become a referral source for Seven Oaks, and you continue getting that commission from us. And when you bring the carrier in, that carrier has access to our app, and you as their dispatcher have access to their app as well. So you can have that tool in your hands to check the brokers 24/7, request credit checks on new brokers and even find loads. Our app has a little, it's a it's very basic, but there is a load board there that you can try to find loads through there too. So find gas, discounted fuel information for the carriers and several other things. So you as a dispatcher have access to that app as well if you dispatching for the carrier that factors with us.
Is there another time, I guess, we can kind of look at some of the features of the app at another
Sure,
time?
sure. Oh yeah, we
Oh,
can schedule a call and so I can share my screen it's very easy to work with. Very simple, very easy. It's got the everything the carrier needs to work, from their truck, then and a lot of dispatchers we give back office support like preparing paperwork, sending the paperwork to the factoring company. If you want to provide a service to the carrier, you can do that, but you can also use the app for that. Or just find the loads for the carriers and let the carriers upload their paperwork. It's whatever you and the carrier agree to. So, but it will be available for the dispatcher as well. So,
you mentioned the term that some people may, and some most of us on the call listening right now, 15 of us, but someone may not have heard it before, but it's a common term now. It's becoming common. Unfortunately, it's becoming common. The word is double brokering. Can you explain in your eyes what double brokering is, Monica?
yes. So double brokering will be, for example, there's a new broker, they're struggling to find a shipper to for them to move loads with. They're new broker shippers. They don't want to give their loads to a broker they've never worked with before. So this new broker is struggling. So what they do is they take a load from another broker and they can give it to another carrier. So there's some brokers that have carrier authority too. So they move as carrier and brokers, and they take a load from a broker and they rebroker it to another carrier. So that's what double broker is. So um, and as a dispatcher, you want to make sure that's not happening. You have to look at the rate confirmation, make sure the load is coming from the broker to your carrier, and also the bill of lading. You can see the information there. If there's another broker's name on the bill of lading, you have uh, to make sure that there is not a double broker situation. Why? Because the broker is going to receive the payment from this other broker and just take off, and your carrier never gets paid. So experience with paperwork is some other things that you partner with the factoring company, because we buy paperwork, we buy bill of ladings, that's what the money is, the paperwork. If the paperwork is shady, is not correct, there's no money. So that's why you have to be careful on those new brokers. It's very strange that a new broker gets a load from a shipper directly. Sometimes it takes months for them to be able to get their first load.
So
um
when you say paperwork, you buy paperwork, you're saying once a carrier delivers a load and he receives the signed BOL, bill of lading,
Correct.
it becomes a proof of delivery, a POD, which is
Correct. Hmm.
because now the carrier has picked up the load and delivered it, and both parties involved in that shipment has signed in their respective locations verifying that. So it's a proof of delivery, and that's what's used to get paid, right?
Correct.
Okay.
That's right. So the
So,
bill of lading is the money.
right,
So yeah, and so bill of lading, rate confirmation, you gotta pay attention to those documents as well. So
right. Anyone has any questions for Monica?
here.
Monica just jumped in like, okay, hey.
Yeah.
We good? No one's, Miss
Yeah.
Sylvia was clapping. Miss Sylvia, you had a question? She was just clapping.
Oh, LaDonna asked me a question. Which company do y'all use to get your app software from? It's a company called, gosh, I lost the name, but
The
I can
app,
send it to you, LaDonna. It's
app develop.
they have built an app for several factoring companies, and it's very easy to. We were kind of the guinea pigs on their app, and it works really easy. What they do is the carrier or the dispatcher uploads the rate confirmation and the bill of lading, and the app actually they can scan the bill of lading with the app, and it reads the rate confirmation and enters all the information there. So you don't have to enter low numbers or amounts or anything.
So
Uh,
does this streamline your process now as far as
oh yes, absolutely. Because once they hit submit, that bill of lading rate confirmation goes straight to our processing software, and our processing software creates that invoice to immediately bill it to the broker. So it
so
all happens on the same day. Yeah.
so your processing software receives what, a scanned image from the app, or and
Mhm.
it goes to work.
Yeah, it goes to, there's no email to send or anything. The carrier or dispatcher uploads the rate confirmation and the bill of lading, the signed bill of lading, hit submit, and the app will send it to our processing software. We review the paperwork, review that all the amounts are correct, and then we process, send it to our payables department, and we send the IACH the same day. And the carrier gets their payment the next morning.
Now, is that done if everything is done within a certain time in the day? Like if a carrier submits it before, let's say noon or before 1 p.m. local time, then they'll get paid either same day or next day. How does that work?
At Seven Oaks, we have a cutoff time for 1 p.m. Central Time for ACHs. And is the ACH is $2 ACH fee, and it could be one invoice or 10 or 20 is just one ACH fee. We ask that they send it by 1 p.m. so we can process everything, process the ACH during the night, and then the payment it's in the bank the next morning. And then we also offer a wire transaction, which is, for emergencies or somebody needs fuel money or something, they need a wire. A wire transaction is a same day payment, and it's we need everything by noon. We process the paperwork, and they can request wire or ACH through the app, and it's $15 charged for the carrier. And sometimes their bank, when they receive it, the bank might charge them another $15. So wires are really not popular, and they're used by large companies. When it's a large amount of money that we're sending, it is more convenient to just go ahead and send it through wire. But one or two truck guys that send 1, 2 invoices in a day, they typically like to work with ACHs. So
How has Seven Oaks Capital been dealing with the process of the FMCSA phasing out MC numbers? Has that affected your company?
not at all. It has not affected us on our side. We still do DOT only if it's inside the state, and motor carrier to if they go over the interstate lines,
So it,
across the
it
state
really
lines.
it really hasn't affected factoring.
No, it has not affected factoring at all. The brokers are still taking the MC numbers and DOT as separate numbers. I think it's a transition. It's not affecting the financial part of it yet.
That's
But
what I, yeah.
and we want to make sure that they have a correct MC number on the rate confirmation when they issue the rate confirmation and to the carrier. Mhm.
Right. Someone just asked, they are phasing of MC and replacing it without.
Replacing it with
Oh, so she's asking she asked the question they're phasing. So I think it was October 1st started.
it's not happening yet.
Right.
There's a lot of things that they announce and like, with a lot of noise, but it's not happening yet. So we have not seen any difference in paperwork. The MC numbers are still on the rate confirmations, and the MC numbers are still on our letters of assignments. The moment we see that a broker or, they I think we all gonna see those emails announcing things, not by the FMCSA that plans to do something, but most likely from the brokers. When the brokers, there's changes with the brokers, as far as requirement goes, they usually send emails announcing things. So mergers or new procedures or a link to send paperwork, they make these announcements. So when we start seeing those emails from brokers saying, don't use the MC number, we're just going to use the USDOT number, then it'll be a requirement at that point. But so far, nobody has sent, there's no noise about, from brokers at least, requiring anything different than the MC number. So our notice of assignment still have the MC numbers on it.
Okay. So
Mhm.
what is the main benefit of a carrier? Because some people may not get this yet, but I'm gonna just repeat it again. But what is the main benefit of a carrier, an owner operator using a factoring company? What's the purpose of that? I mean,
Mhm. And it's a good thing that you said owner operator, because if you work in, sometimes we get approached by drivers that drive for a company and they want to use the factoring company. So the factoring company can only do the agreement with the owner of the company, the one that, holds the MC number, not with the driver. So and the benefit of factoring companies, like I said, it's if brokers, they pay in 30 days, 45 days, 60 days sometimes, and the carrier can't wait that long to get their money. A typical startup carrier that is using a dispatcher because they need help in the industry and support to start up, they also need the support of a factoring company. They cannot wait 30, 45 days to get paid. uh, and they don't want to pay 5%, 4% for a quick pay that sometimes happens in 2 or 3 days or 4 days. They need fuel right away. They need their money right away because they need, fuel or pay their drivers if they have drivers, or for whatever they need money to get from one place to another. So that's why the factoring company comes in for that cash flow advance. And what we're doing right now is, once the load is delivered, um, they will upload the rate confirmation and the signed bill of lading with the proof of delivery. We review it, we process it, and we send the 95% advance of the load and they receive it the next morning. The system will, the day that we purchase it, we send it to the broker, and the broker will take their time, 30 days, 45 days, to send the payment to Seven Oaks. So when we receive that payment, that invoice is closed, and we take our 2% fee and release the other 3% back to the carrier. And we keep that little 5% reserve if there's any short payments or non-payments. We have that little bitty cushion to work with, to take back that company, because I mean the amount that was not paid. Um, because Seven Oaks works as recourse factoring. Factoring is, if the broker doesn't pay for the loan, the carrier, the owner operator, is still responsible for that money that was advanced to them.
I was gonna say that too. I was gonna say, well, let's get a little bit into the dark side of it. And
Yes. Uh,
so there's a term that's used, it's called a UCC1 lien filing, right?
mhm.
So if because the factoring company is like a bank and you have to get your money back. So you entrusted the carrier as well as the broker. The broker breached the contract. You advanced the carrier whatever percentage or whatever monies you advanced them, and
Mhm.
then waited on the broker to pay so that you can recoup what you lent out. But the broker didn't honor that. So the factoring company has no other recourse, right? They
Yes.
have to get their money back, right? So, and if you come out to the carrier and the carrier's uncooperative, now it's forcing your hand as a factoring company. We have to get our money back, right? So
Mhm.
that's kind of the dark side of factoring, but I correct me if I'm wrong, Monica, but you rarely see those situations, right?
Yeah, so let me explain what the UCC one is. Like you explained it already, but in simple words, is when a carrier has an agreement with the factoring company, the factoring company they file this UCC one, which is a security to in the financial world that tells everybody this carrier has an agreement with Seven Oaks Capital, and they cannot go to another factoring company and factor the same invoice, the same load. And if they owe money to the factoring company, the receivables they have needs to come to Seven Oaks. So that's what the UCC one is for. Seven Oaks Capital files that security only after we have sent money to our client, to our carrier, because if they never send us an invoice, we sign an agreement, but if they never send us an invoice, if they decide they want to go somewhere else, they don't owe us any money. They don't have a commitment to us yet because they don't owe us any money and we have not provided any services. So in our way of working, we give the carrier the freedom to go wherever they want to go. They don't owe us any money. It's their business. They go where they want to take it. So we file the UCC one after we have provided a service, after we have sent money to their bank. Most factoring companies file that UCC when they sign an agreement. Some of them, they're salespeople from other companies that as long as they get on the phone with the carrier and the carrier, are you interested about the service? And the carrier says, yes. Okay, they file a UCC one. They have not even applied yet. And then they get locked into some other factoring company and they cannot apply anywhere else. So for us, that is not really fair for the carrier that is just shopping around or trying to, decide where they want to go. So I'm not sure if signing an agreement is probably a bonding commitment, but we prefer to file the UCC one after we have sent the first payment to them. So
So it's like a security instrument. You have to protect the interest of the fact.
yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm. But we do it after we send the first payment. So,
Right.
and if the carrier decides to go somewhere else, Seven Oaks does not have a yearly agreement or a 6-month agreement or a 2-year agreement. Again, our way of working is we give the carrier flexibility to go if they're not happy with our services. We believe in good relationships. So if we don't have a good relationship for some reason, yes, go ahead and go. We're not going to make you wait. We're not going to force you to stay with us because forcing anybody into a relationship is not good. It's not healthy for any of the parties. So that's how we work. And as long as all the invoices are closed and they're paid off, we let the carrier go. They don't have to wait for a year or 12 months or 6 months. That's the way we do things. So,
That leads
and
to my next question.
mhm.
Explain the concept of a buyout.
Yes, that's where I was going. So two ways of if the carrier has open invoices with Seven Oaks that we're still waiting on broker payments for them, and they decide to go somewhere else, then they might be getting phone calls from another factoring company every single day offering a lot of good things, and they decide to take a chance with them. And so, okay, so we do that. We print or send them an aging report, which is a list of open invoices. The other factoring company will receive a copy of that, and they will send a wire to Seven Oaks to pay for all those invoices. And then since they don't owe us any money anymore, the other factoring companies send the payment for all the open invoices, we can release that carrier to the other factoring company because the debt is now with the other factoring company. That's a buyout.
Okay.
Um,
So
and
let me ask you this. What other features or services, like do you offer fuel advance or fuel cards or other perks and
mhm. Yeah,
okay.
besides the app, and you can request these things through the app as well, or the carriers can. We partner with TCS Fuel for a discounted fuel card. It's not a credit card, it's just a discount card because we don't want the carrier to go in depth paying interest rates on a fuel card. So this is a discount card. They can request it through the app, and they go directly to the TCS Fuel website, and they can request the card. They send them in the mail, and they can use it anywhere. But the TCS chain has different locations where the discount is applied. And right now, I think they're like 53 cents per gallon of discount. So, and they can use different discount cards. So depending on the location, they might be convenient to use another card. So that's one of the ones that we offer is TCS. And besides that, they can also go read all of the reports, their account reports online through the app. They can see all the invoices we purchased, the money that's coming in from the brokers, the money that's going back to them after the invoice is closed. Like I said, check on broker MCs, that logo that goes, it's complimentary logo that gets it's inside the app. um what else? And the referral program that we offer to carriers and dispatchers as well, you know so yeah, that's fuel advances. Yes, we do fuel advances as well. Not a lot of carriers use that because there's a $25 fuel advance fee plus the $15 wire fee, because if it's a fuel advance, that means they need fuel right away. We have to send it right away as a wire. And so that'll put the carrier into a $40 expense, maybe another $15 extra if their bank charges for a wire reception, just to get half of the load, after they pick up. So a lot of carriers don't use it because it's very pricey. So
The next question would be as dispatchers. So dispatchers can only use your app through the carrier that's one of your clients, right? They
yes.
we dispatchers can't use it freely without us having a carrier who's a client of Seven Oaks, correct?
No, because our app is connected with the carrier's account.
Right. So
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 that
dispatchers can't use it freely without having a carrier that's connected with Seven Oaks.
correct.
Correct. Okay. So I just want to make sure I answered the question that was asked.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't read.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah, so you have to have a carrier. They have to be set up with Seven Oaks, and then but you can leverage that. I'm speaking to the dispatchers now. You can leverage that all the services and features. You'll be able to get inside and look at all the features, and then you can even take that and leverage it with other carriers to kind of solicit and bring other carriers on board. Let them know like, look at these great services, look at these great features that this factory company has. I have this one carrier who's taking advantage of it. You guys can come in too and do the same thing. You know. And then it gives you opportunity as dispatchers to learn the Seven Oaks system through the app.
Yes. Yeah.
So
And sometimes you get added for one of the carriers and the carriers leave, but then you still have the access. Well, as long as the account is active in our system, then that application is active for you as well. So
yeah. LaDonna asked a great question. I'm trying to LaDonna, you may have to unmute yourself and actually talk it out because I'm trying to read it, but
and Donna asked a question about if the carrier didn't do a credit. That's what it said. Run a credit check. That's what we call it.
right.
When they check the broker's MC number and see if the broker is approved through our app. Sometimes these fraudulent brokers, they post loads on load boards and they look great. So the carrier that's not experienced jumps to it because it sounds absolutely incredible amount of money for a load. They jump to it, they do the load, and then they didn't pay attention if the broker was approved or not, if the paperwork is correct, the bill of lading looks legit. So, and then they present it for factoring, and we reject it because we tell them after they deliver the load, we said, well, this broker is not approved for factoring. They've been double brokering for many years. They're not in our system. You should not, you know. What happens immediately is the carrier gets disappointed. But we told them, we explained all of this to begin with, before we start a relation. Check your broker's MC, check your broker's MC. And this is something that has started to happen a lot in the last 2 years, almost 3 years. But it's kind of, you know, very, very crazy world that what these companies have been doing. So
Yeah, of course.
if that happens and the factoring company says, oh, we cannot factor that load, the company doesn't pay or it's double brokering, the carrier immediately or the dispatcher can negotiate a quick pay from that broker without, you said, I need you to get me a quick pay. Send me the
Yeah, but
payment.
my question about that is, I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. Why
Mhm.
would I do that when my carrier's factoring company already red flagged that broker? Why would I negotiate a quick pay with the same broker? Am I not taking a risk?
No, this is an emergency situation if the carrier already moved the load.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, but if we red flag it and you looked at it on the app and you said and it says not approved, don't move the load, don't give that load to the carrier, or if they decide to do it, it's at their own risk. So I would not do it. And we have carriers that they go the safe way and they say, yeah, I'm not gonna take it. You know.
A very
Uh,
tricky situation. Testing 1, 2. Hi, everyone. Hey,
Yeah.
Monica.
yes, Ladonna.
Hey, I'm gonna read it just so others can see and hear. It says, let's say a motor carrier didn't pay your broker check any mind, and they took a chance on the brokerage company they were
Mm-hmm.
trying to get a load from. And then it says, what is the percentage of amount of the double brokering has any of your motor carriers experienced, like on your end, and you prevented the motor carrier from getting taken advantage
Oh,
of?
oh, it has happened a lot. I don't have a specific percentage, but I love that. That's why it's very important for the relationship to have a close relationship with the carrier, with the factoring company, because that carrier or the dispatcher can call us right away and check on that before, and it happens a lot. um, I don't know, a percentage, I don't know, at least 20% or,
I
we
know. And
cross.
then to your point, how you mentioned they get very, kind of sad. They do, because it's like they hear that number and then they're going a certain amount of miles and it's like, man, that's a deal. I want it. But then again, guess what? You're putting yourself in a situation, motor carrier, where you don't need to be. Me as your factoring
Yeah,
company, as Monica K7 Oaks, I'm
yeah,
telling you that's not a good decision. So are you
yeah,
sure you want to do that?
yes. And again, we have the information, we have the experience. I've been doing this 18 years. The company has been in business for 28 years. We've seen it all. We've seen a lot. So it's very important to trust a factoring company in the advice we give, especially new carriers. When a new carriers, because these fraudulent companies that sometimes they're out of the country, uh, they prey on new carriers, especially if they don't have a dispatcher or a factoring company,
Oh yeah.
because they prey on new carriers and they put really nice amount of money on a load that an experienced carrier would take a look and say, oh, that doesn't make sense. Because you run so many loads, how much is a normal amount. So that happens a lot. So and it's sad because sometimes we try to prevent it, and they either didn't call us or they didn't pay attention or they just make their own decision, and then there's problems arise in the relationship. Or another thing that happens a lot less, but it has happened. This is how crazy things have been the last year or two. they check on a broker, they approve, they see that it's approved. And then they move the load, send the paperwork in for factoring, and the rate confirmation is absolutely fake.
Oh,
I don't know if you heard that before, but oh goodness.
how did it get that far along in the shipment process to the point where it's finally discovered that a Raycon is fake? How did it get that far in the process?
Madonna, your face is exactly what I do. Like, that's why, in my personal opinion, I always tell my new carriers, please send me a copy of the rate confirmation. Send me, because my eyes have seen a lot of rate confirmations through many years. And we
So,
have also, when they request a credit check, I send them the screenshot of our billing information that we have on that broker, and the carrier or dispatcher can match to whatever they see on that rate confirmation.
right.
Because if be aware, of those Gmail accounts. For billing to a Gmail account, email address is a red flag.
No, no.
Uh, some agents for the brokers might have a Gmail account, but if the billing information is not matching to what the factoring company sent you, then that's a red flag.
That's a
Send me the
no-no.
paperwork. I'll take a look. Yeah. There's it's crazy. It's just to that point because that has happened, and then that's how I react, because they say that, but you approved that broker. I gave you the MC number. Yes, but then I explain. But if you take a look at your rate confirmation, that's a copy and paste of the logo, and the contact information is different, and the bill of lading is bad. I mean,
You
yeah,
can
it's
you can do AI, you can go into Canva and do
oh my
all
goodness,
types
yeah.
of stuff. You can
Oh,
screenshot. There's so many ways. And I'm not trying to promote criminality. I'm just saying there's so many ways you can.
no, because the thing is, you and I know, and whoever is in this business in good faith, we all work and start a business and work in good faith, providing services. Those guys that decide to run this fake stuff, they don't go far. They just don't build anything. They get quick money, and then they either get caught. That has happened. The FBI has been involved last year in out of the country criminal activity. Is a it's crazy, and or the ones that live locally, they can get quick money, but then they're gone. They just, in my opinion, if you're honest and you build a business in good faith and in community and just providing a good service, and that's what really gets you to the long run and working and earning trust and earning money while you do that. So
Chasa has her hand raised. Chasa?
Hi, Monica. How are you?
hi, Chasa, how are you? Good to
I'm
see you.
doing good. Doing good.
Good.
I got a quick question for you.
Mhm.
So, I had an incident where I had a carrier who was doing a load and it was a double blind shipment.
Oof, okay.
And the carrier did not want to do it. And I tried to explain to him that the factoring companies know that it's a double blind shipment, even though the BOL doesn't necessarily reflect the rate confirmation. But I couldn't really explain to him how you guys know what you know.
Yeah. The easiest way.
So I was just wondering if you
Yeah.
could explain.
Yes, the double blind shipment is, and the easy way to get that opening for the carrier to trust it is for the broker to explain it on the rate confirmation. And basically, if you don't comply with the broker's instructions, they might not pay. So the double blind shipment is the broker, the shipper wants to take a load from their warehouse. Oh, they're selling potatoes from their warehouse to Walmart, you know, but maybe they run out of potatoes, so they buy in potatoes from somewhere else, and they're gonna sell these potatoes to Walmart. but they don't have this other provider on the bill of lading. They have their warehouse address. So Walmart will never find out that those potatoes were not from their warehouse, from
Correct.
somewhere else.
That's
That's not, it's not illegal. It's just, the broker doesn't want, or the shipper doesn't want the receiver to know where the shipment really originated from. It's just decisions between the shipper. So the broker has specific instructions for the carrier to do that. So the easiest way for the carrier to know what to do and to be open with those different addresses and different company names on the bill of lading is to be explained on the rate confirmation. And and we have seen it. The factoring company, we've seen it all the time. Yeah, at first sight, the person, receiving the paper will say, "Oh, this is not matching." But then pay attention to the rate confirmation. The rate confirmation says it's a double blind shipment. So again, experience and information is what helps the carrier. But so the carrier didn't want to take the load, or
They just didn't, he didn't want to take the load because he felt that his factoring company was going to give him pushback because the BOL didn't match the rate confirmation. But now I understand that we
yes,
just got to make sure that that rate confirmation says double
yeah.
blind somewhere on there.
Yes,
Okay.
correct, because
Okay.
that rate confirmation is internal from the broker to the carrier and from the dispatcher and the factoring company to see what's all that's going on with the load.
So I got a
The-
question real quick though, because I just wait. I'm like, wait. So why
Mhm.
did not the BOL match the rate con on the front end, or because you're dealing with two BOLs now? If this is double blind, you're dealing with
Mhm.
BOL from the shipper with the carrier, and then you're dealing with a BOL or with the consignee and the carrier or the broker in this case.
Yes.
So why did not the rate con match on either side? Chasa, I don't know if you know. I was
The
directly.
rate confirmation should have certain information on as far
I
as
used to,
the
I used to do it all the
instructions.
time. About a few months ago, I was dealing with a fertilizer shipper. I was working directly, if you guys remember, I was working with a fertilizer shipper for a few months, helping them. And that's all we did was double blind. Like
Yeah.
every day, I was doing double blind shipment. So I'm confused with why but I don't know, Chasa, if you can chime in with that. But because so it's so when we did it with the fertilizer. It was a pickup from a blending plant.
Mhm.
So the carrier would pick up from a blending plant. They would have their own BOL, and then it would get delivered to a manufacturer to make the finished product fertilizer to be delivered elsewhere. So that was a separate BOL. So when the carrier picked up from the blending plant for whatever amount, that was a rate confirmation for that, and it matched the BOL. So that was my question to Chasa. Why didn't the BOL match the rate confirmation from where the carrier picked up or where they want to deliver to the consignee? Like
Mhm.
I was saying before, I did it every day for like 3 months. So I'm like, I'm confused.
I guess the issue was he was saying like we got one rate confirmation, but of course the BOL doesn't have the pickup and delivery. It didn't have the same address on the BOLs. And that's
And
was
it
his
shouldn't.
biggest thing. He said, my
Right,
factoring company,
right. And it shouldn't
okay.
because it was
Yeah, he
double.
was saying he said his factoring
I believe if as a factoring company, if the rate confirmation says it's a double
right,
blind
because
shipment,
nothing was explained to him.
then and that happens. Inexperienced processing people might not catch it as quickly, but and and the carrier will say, "Hey, your processing department is saying this is not right, but this is what happened. This is a double ship." And then I go in and says like, "Hey, processing department, please instruct your new processing person." Explain to them what the double blind shipment.
And
So
it probably was something that he or she may not have been used to. And I don't know if this was their first
yeah.
experience, Chasa, with a double blind shipment, or if they just do regular shipments.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, so
So
that's probably what's the red
He
flag.
just did regular shipments. So the
yeah.
double blind, kind of threw him off because they're telling him, oh, you can't tell them where it's coming from. And if they ask you, just say this. And I'm trying to tell him, it's okay. This is normal. And he's like, no, there's a whole bunch of fraud. So
Yeah,
I
the
guess when I
factor.
was asking Monica to just explain it to me so that I can explain it to him when dealing with the factoring companies, um, they kind of know. They'll know. It's like, why do we have two BOLs? That doesn't make any sense, right? Because it's usually just one BOL. So there are probably things that the factoring company knows, so they know it's a double blind and they'll pay the driver. Am
Exactly.
I, am I correct?
Yes, but if a account manager or processor told him, "Oh no, that's wrong. No, you can't do that."
Okay.
They're not experienced. They have never seen it either. It's confusing to them. But if
So,
that's why reading the rate confirmation and verifying with the broker is what needs to be done. Call the
let
factoring
me,
companies to call the broker and have the broker explain and verify that double shipment, a double blind shipment, and the two bill of ladings.
that's
And
correct. So that's what I was going to say. So when I was working with the shipping company, the fertilizing company, we sourced 3PLs,
Mhm.
brokers. And every shipment that we sent out, we said we instructed the 3PLs or the brokers, this is a double blind shipment. And it was the responsibility of the 3PL, the broker, to make sure that whatever carrier that they sourced or trucked for that shipment, that double blind shipment, that they
Mhm.
explained to them it's a double blind shipment. And if the consignor and the consignee found out about each other, that breached the contract, and they would not, the broker would not have gotten paid from us, the shipper.
Yes,
So
because the other party doesn't need to know certain information, and that's how the shippers want it to happen. So,
that's correct. And there's a
oh,
reason for that. That's correct. That is
and
accurate.
and also always the factoring company, what we do is we want to verify in writing. So you have a paper trail that the broker on the load verify that the paperwork presented is correct for payment. So that's in those specific situations is when we want to do a written verification from the broker. So when they don't pay for the load, we factor the load and they don't pay it, we'll bring to an accounts payable and tell them, hey, this is my email from your broker saying that the paperwork is correct. Go ahead and pay it. So
All right.
yeah, always try to keep all of those verifications and clarifications in writing. Use a dispatcher or the carrier directly with the factoring company, and the factoring company, for good measure, also a written verification from the broker. So
So,
yeah, those are high level dispatching
right.
experience.
So let me circle back because that's more advanced high level stuff. So I know there's a few guests on here. So the purpose of this dispatcher 101 training for beginners, even though sometimes we get into a little bit of intermediate, a little bit of advanced stuff too, but the purpose of this platform primarily is for beginners, those who know very little, if anything, about dispatching. Now, you will become an expert after, because repetition, doing it over and over again, you're going to say, okay, yeah, this is easy now. I got it, right? And a lot of my dispatchers are at that level. But when you first come into the training, uh, we give it to you from a very beginner's level, like someone who didn't know like what the equipment type was, like a tractor trailer or the type of equipment types that you want to dispatch for starting out as a new independent freight dispatcher, or how to talk to a freight broker, or what is a freight broker and what is their purpose? What is the purpose of a freight broker as regards to or in relation to a freight dispatcher? What's that relationship like? What is your relationship like between you and the person that you're going to be working for, who is the motor carrier, the owner operator, the person that contracts with you and hires you to dispatch for them? What does it mean to dispatch? That means you're sending them out with freight, with cargo, with loads, with shipments to pick up from a shipping facility or an origin location and transport and deliver to a receiving facility or a destination location. And you are being paid for that service. You may charge a percentage for that process, or you may charge a flat fee. So here in Dispatcher 101, we go over that from a beginner's standpoint, step by step by step, with modules and trainings and conversations and resources back here. If you're looking at the screen, you can see the back office right now. I have on, hopefully I'm sharing my screen. The back office here, the Dispatcher 101 with my mug shot right there, and the modules and self-paced modules and things like that. So that is the purpose. So if you're someone who is at the very beginning stage and you're interested in transportation and you heard about, hey, I want to get into dispatching because it's the least expensive way to get into transportation as opposed to starting a trucking company or starting a freight brokerage or being a freight forwarder or anything like that, freight dispatching is the way to go, right? So that's for the guests who came in. I know Desiree had a guest person come. I think that's the person on the Motorola phone. I don't know if you can unmute yourself. I think she's still here, or I don't know if it's a male or female, but they are still here. Right.
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay, so
Chasney.
go ahead.
I said my name is Chasney. Thank you for the invitation.
Welcome. So, do you have any questions or inquiries about dispatching? Where are you? Are you in transportation, or are you looking to come into transportation in some capacity?
So I'm a dispatcher. Been
Oh,
doing calls with Chasa. I've been with Chasa for the last month or so.
oh man, I'm sorry to
So,
hear that. No, I'm just kidding.
gosh. So I heard a lot about you as well. So I'm just like a sponge. Like I say, just because I finished my training doesn't mean the knowledge stops. So I'm learning that it takes a community. There's a lot of entities to it, the factoring, the brokerage, the everything. So I'm
Where
just
are you? Where are you located?
in California.
California. Are you near the Los Angeles, Southern California area?
Yeah, yeah.
So you're near Mr. Ellis.
Right. And then I connected with him as well. I think he texted you the other day about me. So yeah.
I believe so, yeah. Mr. Ellis, I think that's the one you were referring to. She's the one. Do you have truck any carriers that you're dispatching for? Have you had?
No. So I actually started in the business back in COVID. I just was a private investor. I had 3 semis with my partner. That lasted about a year. Um, and then after about a year or so, I jumped ship with that because things went crazy. So then I wanted to, at that time, I wanted to do dispatching, but of course, I have a lot of other things going on as well. So I just thought this would be a better time to revisit this.
Okay, okay. And it's always good to continue to learn. So yeah.
Correct.
And how is let's do a plug with Chasta's class. How was that experience?
Chas has been very attentive to me. Um, Chas has been very attentive, so that helps.
Okay, Chasta. Kudos to Chasta. I don't know if Chasta's still on here. Yes, she's still here. Okay, good. All right. All right, well, great. I got an email from Chasta earlier. I'm gonna put on the website her next cold calling session on this website and the YouTube channel. So I will have that up there uh later this week, maybe to later tonight or tomorrow morning early. So okay, well, welcome. You said Chazzy?
Chasney, Chaznie, Chasney.
Chazny. Okay, okay, there you go. All right, Chasney. Well, welcome. Glad to have you. Thank you for thank Desiree for bringing you on, and hopefully, if you have any more questions or if you want to reach out, and my everyone has my contact info. I'm very transparent, so yeah. So
I
someone
have
asked me,
lots of questions. I'm always asking about something. So,
okay, well, if you got one now, shoot.
um, is it normal for a brokerage to want an email? Like, do they normally? It was really weird going through the process. I sent out a email request for a load. They responded back to me with a email with like just upload your stuff type of thing.
So you saying this from a broker?
Right.
So they're probably talking to you as if you're the carrier. They may be
Mm-hmm.
if you are the carrier as opposed to an independent. I don't know if you identified yourself as either an independent dispatcher or the dispatcher just particularly working with that specific carrier that you're trying to get a load for from that broker. So
Mm-hmm.
it is normal for them to, because they communicate either through phone or email with the carrier, not
Mm-hmm.
necessarily with the dispatcher, but with the carrier, because they're again
Mm-hmm.
they're assuming that this is a carrier that's even if they find out it's a dispatcher, they may think it's an internal dispatcher for the trucking company. And you're not that, you're actually an independent dispatcher. But the broker doesn't need to know that,
Right.
you
So
know.
I'm just saying for the way that setup went, was that normal for it to be like an email response where I just upload the carrier's information, they just give me the load and that's it?
That's a method because, like LaDonna just said it, they want to match the email to the FMCSA site for the carrier based off of their MC number. They want to see if it's a match for like security purposes, double blind shipment purposes, things like that. They just want to verify. It's just another system check for them.
Okay.
Just another way to verify that it's that email is the carrier's email that
Okay.
they're trying to give the load to.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Anything else?
I'm sure, but I'll let you finish your class.
um. So someone asked double blind. I went to let's use AI technology. Double blind shipment, right? What is a double blind shipment? Is a logistics method used to keep both the shipper and receiver anonymous from each other or not knowing who one another. Basically, that's what that means, anonymous, not knowing who each other is, right? So how does it work? Okay. And can you guys see my screen? I get my tab on the Chat GPT screen. Can you guys see that?
Yes.
Okay. So how it works. In a typical shipment, the shipper knows the receiver. Okay, this is a standard shipment. You know, the regular ones you guys do. You know, you book a load with the broker. In this case, the broker is going to uh send a rate confirmation to either you, the dispatcher, or to your carrier directly. It's going to have the pickup location and the receiving location. The pickup location is the shipper, the shipping location. The receiving location is the consignee or the receiver. They know who each other is or are, right? Um, so that's a typical shipment, right? The receiver knows the shipper knows the receiver. Now, in a double blind setup, okay, the carrier or dispatcher, you guys, or your carrier that you're dispatching for, is the only one who knows both parties, and that is true. The shipper sees only a generic pickup name / address or the carrier's detail or the broker's details that they instructed the carrier to or put on the uh the BOL. So the shipper on the shipper side, they still have their shipper information going out, but the receiving information that they see is either some carrier details or something from the broker. That's what this highlighted line is saying. Okay. And then the receiver is only going to see the generic return address with the same carrier's details or the broker instructed details on the receiving side. So they think that it's coming to them, the receiver, it's coming from either the carrier's detail or the broker's detail. The shipper side is going out from the shipper and is going to, they think it's a receiver, but it's going to either the carrier's detail or the broker instructed details. That is a double blind setup. This prevents either side from directly contacting or bypassing the dispatcher or the broker. So in other words, the broker and or carrier and or their dispatcher are the true middle people in that process. Shipper to the middleman, and then from shipper to the middleman, or from the middleman to the receiver. So the carrier / dispatcher / broker is in the middle of that double blind process. So both sides on either end does not know of each other. Okay. And then some of you may ask, well, why is this used? What's going on with that, right? Why is it necessary to do that? Double blind shipments are common when a broker or dispatch service wants to protect their shipper or carrier relationships. A trucking company wants to avoid shippers contacting drivers directly. A retailer or 3PL broker wants to hide supply chain details, Monica just mentioned, the potatoes example. They don't need to know that they outsourced to get other potatoes to fill that order, right? The shipper just knows that it got delivered to its destination. They don't need to know how that it was outsourced third party. They don't need to know that, right? So which is a 3PL. So that's why it's used. And then to bring home the point, here's an example of it. Okay, so you're the broker. Let's say I'm the broker. The shipper gives me the freight, and then I assign it to a carrier. One of you guys, a carrier. The BOL used for the pickup lists my company as the shipper, not your client. Right? So it's not the real receiver on the receiver end. It lists me on the pickup BOL. It picks up from the shipper, the real shipper, but it lists my company as the receiver. And then on the receiving side, the BOL used for the delivery, the receiving side lists my company as the receiver, not the final customer. So only you know both sides. So that is, let me copy this link and paste it in the chat so you guys can have it because it kind of breaks it down a little bit, explain it. But again, this is more advanced stuff. Someone just asked a question out, and as always, I overly go into explaining stuff, but it is what it is, right? So hopefully that helped the person who asked. I think that was Jennifer, maybe, who asked that question about the double blind. Oh, Lorraine. Okay, Lorraine. Okay, good. All right. So, anything else you want to add, Monica, about factoring? Is Monica still on here? She's listening. Okay.
I'm here.
Okay.
Just yeah, if I left my contact information there. Please reach out with any questions about factoring. Love to talk to you and guide you through factoring aspect of it. Anytime I'm available by email, by phone call. Um, yeah, it's a lot to, help you grow your business and learn everything about factoring so you can have the knowledge and the Seven Oaks resource to offer your new carriers. You can check our website, the reviews that we have. We lately started asking our clients to put reviews on Google and Trustpilot, and because we don't do that too often, and we always love to hear from our clients, and typically they just say good things on the phone and or by email, and we know they love us, but then so we lately started to ask for reviews so we can have that and use it probably for advertising. We don't do a lot of advertising. That's why our fees are so low because we don't really spend a lot on that. We're a medium-sized company, but we've been doing business for a long time, and I love to help people out. The startups is my passion. So I love to, it's been a hard year this year, but next year looks the things that are going to be better. Don't be scared of AI because, everybody's talking about AIs and how all the work that is done in a computer is going to go away, but you can never replace the relationship that you build with humans that are building businesses. So check out our reviews and show those reviews to potential carriers that might be interested in factoring. It's a really great tool, and the service that we provide is very personalized, it's very friendly. Um, yeah, it's very proud of the work our team does because we support our carriers. It's not just to make a sale or find a new client or get them the invoices coming in. No, I personally pay attention to their accounts. I'm always on speed dial for any collection situation or paperwork situation. If somebody's not quick enough to help, I'm always ready to jump in. So, but in this learning process, I'm available. Call me or email me anytime, and we can discuss, any questions you may have about factoring. Okay.
Very good. Very good. Thank you, Monica, as always. Thanks for jumping in. I did not, guys, I did not expect her to come tonight.
Well, tonight was a night that I was able to jump in, and sometimes I have personal stuff going on because it's always after business hours, the sessions. But yeah, anytime, just reach out to me, and I'll hope to see you again in the next session if I can jump in.
Appreciate
Okay.
you. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
All right.
Thanks.
All right, guys. That was Monica from Seven Oaks Factory. She's our so if you go to I think I put it in the right here, yeah, in our portal, I added a button back here, affiliates and partners and factoring. She's right here. All her information is right here. So all her services and what she does, and there's a picture of her, and that's Monica Case from Seven Oaks Capital. So we have and last night I spoke to, I think Mr. Ellis was there, but we have we're getting ready to work with a bond company, PFA, Pacific Financial Association. Diane and Debbie, they came on the broker side, and it was on the YouTube channel. I made it public so people can go and watch on the YouTube channel, the Freight Broker YouTube channel, about the brokering side, about the bond. They offer uh bond services for you to file your BMC 85, which is your surety bond, and your BMC 84, which is your surety bond, and the 85, which is the trust agreement. If you become a bond client with them, they also help you with the application to become a broker, the OP1 form and the other things. So, and that's just an added service. There's no extra charge for that. So that's a wonderful thing to have. So they've been doing that for a while. So that's a good thing to have. So I'm going to put them on the website as well. But let me ask. I said I was going to be on for an hour. I'm a little over, but that's fine. Any questions, guys? Any comments? We good?
Mr. Charles, I got a question.
Yes.
Um,
Ray.
my carrier, he's been running into a couple of brokers who won't work with him, even though he's a new MC, but because he has to hide inspections. Now he's based out of Michigan, and he was saying that in the state of Michigan, they made a policy where like owner operators couldn't just go and get a voluntary inspection. They have to wait until they just get, they get randomly pulled over. Is there anything he can do out do you know any other ways he may be able to get an inspection?
He can go down to Ohio, take 75 south, and hit Toledo and hit the first station there and get inspected.
Even though he is interstate too, but he said something about his plates, his IFTA, like didn't pay to be able to load in other states outside of Michigan. Will he still be able to go in Ohio to go get a
No,
voluntary
nope, that has to be updated. His IFTA,
okay,
all that stuff. That stuff has to be updated before you can, even though you're an
okay,
interstate carrier, everything has to be updated before you can do anything, any interstate transaction, interstate commerce, interstate commercial, anything, shipments,
okay.
everything has to be updated.
All right. I'll let him know.
And even though he's based in Michigan, he's interstate, so he can get inspected anywhere, right? He's an interstate carrier. So
Uh-huh.
he should not think that he's boxed in because he's only in Michigan, because This is the same carrier like when we was in the class last time. We looked him up on Safer and it showed that he was interstate, right?
Yeah, he is interstate, but he explained to me why he couldn't do loads out of state because of the IFTA. Like he didn't pay for the IFTA. He know like it's hindering him. So he's thinking about when his plates renew in February, just paying that extra for it
I was going to
because
say,
it's
hey,
coming
just
up.
get it over, get it over with.
Huh? Huh?
I was saying, just pay, just have, yeah, when they just pay the money, yeah, just get it.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just trying to make a little bit of money before he do that, you know what I mean? But he knows it's something that he has to do.
Yeah, he's Ladonna. He's interstate. We had assumed, and I it overlooked me until I had to look back and take a second look. Remember Desiree? I had to go back. Let's look at Safer.
Yeah, exactly. But I misunderstood the way he explained it to me when I was talking to him prior to our class on Sunday. But yeah, he is in, but his IFTA, he just didn't pay that extra because prior to this he was with a dedicated he had a dedicated lane in Michigan prior to me working with him, so he didn't figure he needed it at the time, but that company went out of business, so now that he's having to get his own loads,
Well, because he
he's
was running under that company. That's probably why he was running. The dedicated lane. He was running under his.
yeah, mm-hmm, yeah,
Now he's running under himself. So with even
mm-hmm,
now with IFTA, now I'm calling the question IRP as well. So there's other just overall compliance, and LaDonna is the compliance queen, so she can. But yeah, he has to be everything. If the IRP, portion plates, what else? DOT, medical stuff. I'm trying to think of the word consortium. Yeah, the consortium. Yeah, so everything he has to be in full compliance. If you're an interstate carrier, you have to be in full compliance to take advantage of making interstate money.
yeah, absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely,
there's no way around that.
yeah. I mean,
So
he's nice, and we, had some hiccups this week. His truck, his airbag blew on his trailer on Monday. I had him a little book for Tuesday, but the broker canceled it. And then today he couldn't move because they got a snowstorm and it's a bunch of ice in
so you said
Michigan
the
right now.
airbag blew on his drive-in.
Trevor. Yeah,
What
but
did you hear?
he does his own maintenance. He could do his own repairs on his truck. So he was able to fix it yesterday. He has a 98
Ouch.
uh
So,
truck, but his trailer is 2017.
oh, the 98. The truck is a 98. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
what is that? Is that ELD exempt?
No. Yeah, it is. ALD exempt. He does the paper logs.
Right, because it's 99 or below, I think it was for ELDs. He does paper logs.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's cooking the books, maybe. Well, I can't say that. I don't want to assume anything, but it's um how long has he been a trucker? LaDonna just asked.
32 years.
22 years. So he's been a company driver, perhaps, LaDonna, for a while, and maybe a little bit of how long of that 32 years is company driver years and then owner operator years? That's a good question.
Um, well, most of it, he just became an owner operator. He just got his authority within the last year because prior to that, he was driving the company and then he was on a dedicated route. But when they closed, that's when he got his own authority.
So let's say 30 of the 32 years he was a company driver.
Mm-hmm.
It's safe to say, okay. So
Yes.
there's a difference, a major difference between a company driver and an owner operator.
Mm-hmm.
There's some things that he's going to uh, have to learn and experience because he's used to doing things as a truck driver for a company. Now that he's an owner operator, there's a lot of things that he has to come into the understanding of.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And you could be the catalyst to help him with that.
Yeah. We've been working good together. I actually was able to get him a dedicated lane on Thursdays with a broker.
Oh, you
Um, huh?
you said you were?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
It was a
congratulations.
broker. It was a broker he had did a lane for, and and he did it Monday. Actually, he did it Monday for them, and I just followed up, like, after the load was completed and everything, and just opened the door. Said if you have any, any lanes or anything that you need covered, please reach out to us, and he did. And then I had another broker call me from TQL today, for some loads.
Oh, run, run.
I know, run. I know, but I'm new to this, so I'm trying to build relationships and
But
I'm
I noticed
trying to
something.
learn it.
Guys, if you noticed something, for those of you who know Desiree, remember how nervous she was? The nervousness has seemed to dissolve at this point.
It did, because honestly, I made it worse than it was in my head. So it wasn't that bad. I did my first carrier packet the other day. That was easy. So I'm learning. I'm learning. It's not that bad. And working with a driver that understands the limitations, but also, it's flexible and makes it a lot easier. He's not like, oh, well, you didn't give me the lows and did it. So it's working out.
Good. LaDonna said, "Why you hiding all the good stuff, Desiree? All these good news."
Because I don't talk on these calls. I'm real quiet. So
But this is good information for others to hear, though. This is good. People who are pretty much either not quite where you are or are where you are and still needs that extra push too. To hear someone else going through the same experience and to see how they handle it, that's valuable, you know?
So I do talk with Desiree, and I'll be like, "Girl, you know some stuff," and she just be like,
it's
"No,
because Mr.
I
Ellis
don't
in his
know."
class. It's Mr. Ellis in his class. I told you, Chasney.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's good. Congratulations.
Thank
Uh,
you.
Now the thing with dispatching, once you get the concept down, do your first load with a complete load from getting the carrier to booking the load, rate confirmation, and invoicing your carrier to be paid. Once you do all that and get it down, now my word is rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat.
Yeah. Branson, yeah.
Yeah, just rinse and repeat. So, and now you have a drive-in carrier, try to find another drive-in carrier, try to put them in the same lane as the same broker. The beauty of that is you're providing that broker with what's called capacity, another truck. So, because I'm sure the broker has more than one load, you got a load for your original carrier right now, but if you can provide him another truck and he can provide you another load, then who's to say now you can leverage that as a negotiating thing. So, yeah, so think of it like that too, because some dispatchers used to think that, well, I'll get a drive-in, book a load for them, then I'll get a reefer, then a flatbed. So you got three different equipment types, three different specs, three different variations of the truck that you have to come into the understanding of. That can be confusing. Why not?
Yeah, that was confusing for me. Like when I was thinking about what equipment type, I just maybe need to understand this one first.
Right, get one of the three major equipment types. First of all, let me make that caveat. Drive-in, flatbed, or reefer, whichever niche you choose of the three, then scale with those types. Like if you choose drive-in as your first carrier and you start booking loads with that one drive-in, then scale with another drive-in and another one. Let's say three to five. I often say, and I've been saying it for 6 years, one dispatcher should be able to handle, it's assumed, between three to five carriers before they have to decide to scale their company and add sub dispatchers, right? If you have three to five dry van carriers and you're putting them under the same brokers, under the same type of loads, that's an easy uh, dispatching service because you always know where they're going, what they're doing. They're under the same brokers, right? They've been approved by the same brokers and you got the same broker carrier agreements, the same rate confirmations. You're talking to the same broker. Hey, my carrier over here with this driver, he's about an hour up the road. He'll be there in about an hour. My other carrier, he's already there at the location, being offloaded. If you have anything coming out of there, let us know. He'll be empty in about an hour. Hey, my third carrier, he's on his way to the shipper to pick up the load, and he'll be in transit pretty soon. but it's the same broker you're talking to. And guess what's happening? You're building that relationship, not even knowing it. You're building that relationship with that broker. And what does that do? That provides you, the independent dispatcher, with leverage to negotiate more money from the broker. Did you know that? Right? So, yeah. It's a LaDon says, so is that an actual drive-in? Yeah, so yeah, it's a drive-in. It's not a power only, LaDon. I think he has a tractor and a drive-in trailer. So, okay. All right, guys, I'm getting ready to get off of here. It's been a long week, long day, but of course, I'm always committed to my team, my guys and girls, obviously. The women, we got way more women on here than guys, man. We being out. Mr. Ellis, we in trouble. Who is it? Just me, you, and Damon right now?
We all right.
We all right?
We all right.
Yes, we in trouble.
Yeah, we straight. We straight.
You straight? We good? We gotta perform. We gotta create a men's group, a men's therapy group. How we cope with dispatching?
No, look at it like the Haitian Revolution. They always talk about Toussaint Louverture, Henri de Christophe, and Jean-Jacques Dessalines, but they never mentioned the women. It was the women who were the powers behind the Haitian Revolution. They don't really talk about that.
Yeah,
So
Bookman,
let them.
yeah, Bookman, Jaja, and all them. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Let them. We fine. We good.
Okay. Yep. You got it. You got it. All right, guys. Man, our next, according to our Zoom training calendar, let's click that in the module. I try to make everything centralized. You can just go right to it, right? It'll be the 13th, Saturday at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. We'll have that for the second week. We're always every second and fourth week of each month, the same day and times. Ignore the Monday dispatcher mentorship. I had one person who was doing that with me, but they had went out of the country, so I'm gonna remove that. But our Zoom calls are always the same: Sundays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, the same day and the same times, right? So easy to get to. If you have access to the portal, you can get to it through the portal. If you do not have access to the portal, if you're a guest or you want to come in, you can get to it by just going up here to Dispatcher 101, hovering your mouse, or let's say you go to the home page right here, and then you go Dispatcher 101, hover your mouse, and then the first drop down sub option link is the Zoom calendar, which is the exact same thing, right? And you just scroll down, hit join now. There's the meeting ID and passcode, and you just go from there. So it's the exact same thing. If you want to come in as a guest, and we often bring guests in to give them the experience as well. All right. All right, guys. Thank you. Thank you, and have a wonderful rest of your week. I will see you guys on Saturday at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. Chesney, hopefully this information and this experience was good for you.
Yes.
Okay. And if you need to reach out to me, my email and contact information, you can get that from Desiree. If you have any further questions, any inquiries, any tough questions you need answered or whatever, right? So, and we'll go from there. And I'm a sponge for information for you. So,
Thank you.
all right, guys, have a great rest of your week, and I will see you guys on Saturday at 12 noon Eastern. Have a good one.
Thank you, Charles.
All right.
Thank you.